Hello, Dalton First Faith family. I want to say thank you for tuning in to this video today. Across the fall, we've been trying to share some videos about all the exciting ministry, the things that are happening on our campus here and in our work towards expanding God's kingdom here in the Dalton area. And so today, I have invited one of our staff ministry members, Hannah Harwood. She's the director of our family ministries, to come and join us. And I've really given Hannah a massive task. I have given Hannah the task of taking you on a tour today of our newly renovated spaces, but really one of our greatest goals is to share with you a vision, really the mission behind what we're trying to do in family ministries. But before we get there, I always think it's really helpful to learn about a leader. And Hannah, it occurs to me that very recently you crested over your 1-year mark of ministry with us. And by the way, we hope this church has blessed you and your family. You have been a blessing to us. And so I just want you to maybe share any thoughts about the past year of ministry with us today.
Well, hi, Pastor Stephen. It's so good to sit at this table with you. This has just really been an incredible first year of ministry. I have loved getting to know not only our Dalton First children and students, but their families as well. When I think back on this past year, I just can't help but say, go God. We renovated an entire wing of our church building for our families. We brought back retreats for our children. We even had a youth delegate to the North Georgia Annual Conference. We have shared so many meals and just very special memories in such a short time. Personally, this has been a very impactful year for my family because my daughter, Kaylee, was baptized and confirmed right here in our sanctuary this past year. My husband and I have just been so grateful of our Dalton First family and how you've shown us so much kindness and love this year. And speaking of which, we have the best staff.
Yay.
Our staff really feels like a second family, not only to me, but to Andrew and Kaylee as well.
You've been a phenomenal addition to our staff. And one of the crazy things, Hannah, is how fast a year goes. I think it just surprises us how much ministry can happen. You turn around, there you are. Well, Hannah's got a beautiful and sweet family, and Hannah is a very intricate part of the good work God's been doing here at Dalton First. And so now we dive into this, Hannah. I want to talk to you just about the tour. You guys, we've renovated spaces. We've renovated some adult spaces. We've renovated some children's spaces, some student ministry spaces. And so I know it's a bold task, but I just want to challenge you to take us on a little tour. Some folks have not been to that area, but you know that what's important to me is that not only they see those areas, but they know what our goals and our mission and our ministry is going to look like to use those spaces to impact and transform lives. So if you will, take us on a little tour.
Absolutely. I would love to, and I'm very excited. But first, I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment and say a special thank you to those adult Sunday school classes who moved out of their spaces to create this environment for our families. Your impact is not only on our current church, but our future church as well.
That's right.
So I just want to take that moment just to say thank you.
That's right. We're clapping for you guys that y'all picked up and moved spaces for children and teenagers.
That's huge.
But we're also clapping for other leaders, like our trustees. They work really, really hard to make sure those renovations happen in a timely manner so we can relaunch ministry in the fall, right? So thank you. She's so right.
All right, so let's get started on that tour. One of the first things that you will notice as you walk into our family ministries wing is a set of double doors. A priority of this project was to create a safe and welcoming environment for our families. We want each family to not only feel welcomed, but also to feel safe and secure as they drop off their children. Security is not only important to our present families, but to our new guests as well. And then we're going to go to a very special room, our new church nursery. This dedicated environment was created with our littlest Dalton kids in mind. One of my favorite stories about this room is a mom telling me how her 2-year-old runs straight to this space every week because he knows exactly where to go.
Now, Hannah, this was a big shift.
It was a huge shift.
You know, the nursery before was like on the lower floor and it's completely separated from children's ministry, right? But now you've got it right there, sitting in the middle of all the rest of that family ministries wing, right?
It did. It almost felt like an island. It was separated from not only the kids' ministry, but also their parents in the sanctuary as well. So we were able to bring them into the fold.
Yeah.
And then I get extra baby snuggles, which
And
is always
well, you
important.
get those, the parents get those littlest of kids closer to where they are, whether that's in fam or whether that's in the sanctuary. That's important, I think, to parents.
Oh, completely. Very important.
Yeah.
And speaking of students, we also have a student small group room. This is a quiet and relaxing space where middle school and high school students are able to go deeper in their faith with intentional Bible study on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday nights. Now, our adult and kids, ages 3 to 5th grade, start each service time in our welcome room. This is a room designed for what we call cooperative play. When children start their day, they need an environment that gives them a chance to laugh, play, and to build community. This room does just that. And it's a lot of fun. Next, we have our minis room. This room is a special environment just for our preschoolers. They learn all about God and His creation every Sunday right here at 11 a.m. And right across the hall is one of our multi-purpose rooms. This is a small group room on Sunday mornings and then becomes our art room on Wednesday nights. Now the next space on our tour is the music room. During the week, this is where Mr. Matthew Dean, our Director of Music Ministries, teaches music to our Christian Learning Center. It is also our music room for our wonderful Wednesday program.
Now, hold on just a minute, Hannah. I got to get you to pause here for a minute. I know you're excited about running to this next room, but before you do that, and by the way, I know Matthew Dean and the children must love that music room. This next room is really a paradigm shift of ministry because this next room, along with the other rooms, really speaks to how we're offering a different type of ministry at the 9:30 a.m. than we are at the 11 o'clock a.m. So if you will, I think that's right, share a little bit of that with us.
Yes, that is right. This new space has allowed us to expand our vision and plans for life-changing ministry. Children learn by experiencing. So at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday mornings, we have Sweet Sound, our interactive kids worship service. This is a place for them to not only experience worship, but to lead as well. They are leading prayers, studying scriptures, and worshiping with their whole selves. This kids' worship service is for all Dalton kids, ages 3 through 5th grade, and reminds me of one of my favorite Bible verses. In Matthew chapter 21, verse 16, Jesus says, "From the lips of children and infants, you, Lord, have called forth your praise." So that's at 9:30 a.m. But 11 a.m., we offer Holy Moments, our children's church. This is a ministry just for kids, following our children's moment during the 11 a.m. service. We have 2 classes at this time, our minis and our kids class. Our minis is a special class just for kids ages 3 through kindergarten, where they have a Bible lesson that is designed specifically for their age and developmental stage. Kids in the 1st through 5th grade have a class designed especially for them as well. What can I say, Pastor Stephen? We love our new spaces.
You know, I think you know now why I've invited Hannah to join me today to not only walk us through those spaces, but to paint a picture of ministry. You know, if you're a parent or you're a grandparent out there, very soon we'll have a 9:30 modern worship going on, an 11 o'clock traditional worship service. And what Hannah and her team have done is really created different environments so those children would have different ways of connecting with God in those 2 different moments offered on Sunday mornings. Now, we would miss a moment here if we didn't take just a moment to invite folks to join you in ministry. Now, I know some people love children and they love being around kids. Some people love teenagers. And so, Hannah, my question is, if somebody's watching today and they'd like to just dip their toe in the water or maybe kick the tires and say, maybe God would want me to come along and be a part of that team. And I'm not talking about committing for the rest of their life, but what if they just wanted to try? How would they take a step forward to maybe serve our children's ministry or our students?
Absolutely. We would love to have you join our Dalton First Families team. If you would send me an email at hannah@daltonfumc.com. We have a Google form that actually gives you a chance to kind of figure out what it is that where you would like to serve, whether that's at our Sweet Sound worship service, or maybe to lend your creative abilities to our Wonderful Wednesday program, whether that's nursery all the way to college and young adults. We have a place for you to use your God-given gifts.
Yeah, I hope that you'll pray about that. Every team can always use more servants, right? And I'm sure you could use some wonderful people and employ their gifts, right, to touch these lives. Hey, before we go today, I want to say just a couple of things to you. The first thing is thank you. Thank you again for spending a few minutes with us, just staying engaged and knowing what's going on, because God's doing great things here at Dalton First. But the second thing I want to invite you to do, even as we're talking today about family ministries, is to pray. You know, Jesus said in John chapter 15 that we can do nothing without him. Apart from him, we can do nothing. We've got to be grafted in. And then he went one step further, and he encouraged us to pray for fruit that lasts. That's actually a prayer that I pray all the time, that God would do things through the ministry that are eternal, that will last forever. And so I hope that when you think of Hannah, or you think of family ministries, that you'll be praying for college students and young adults. You'll be praying for the fruit that's going to happen in people's lives who are teenagers and children. Pray, pray, pray. Join us in that. Hey, thanks again for being with us. And you are a very important part of God's work in this place. God bless you, Dalton First.